Hello and welcome to the MB Ohm podcast, where you will learn to master the business of yoga with guests from around the world who have experienced becoming successful yoga teachers, studio owners, and much more. Now, here's your host, Amanda Kingsmith.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of MB Ohm. I'm really excited that you're here listening today. As you saw in the title, this is the season 1 finale. So there's no guest today. There's not really any topic other than just talking about what it means to end season 1 for MB Ohm and what you can expect from the future of MB Ohm. And the reason why I wanted to do this episode is so that you, the listeners, are very clear on what's going on. I've listened to a lot of podcasts in my life, and I've often found that I get into a podcast and all of a sudden it stops happening, and I just feel really uncertain about what's going on with the hosts and the guests and why it's not running anymore and if it's ever coming back. And so I want to be very clear that this is just a season 1 finale and MB Ohm is not over. So as of right now, my plan is to take a 6 to 8 week break from the weekly podcast episodes. And what you can expect during that time is, well, no new podcast episodes, obviously, but new blog posts, new content coming out on the website. And so the best way to find out about that is to sign up for the newsletter. And that's www.mbom.com/newsletter. And I usually, for those of you who are not signed up, I usually send out weekly newsletters with updates about what's new on the blog, new podcast episodes, the weekly topic, and that'll go down a little bit. That'll go to once a month or once every 2 weeks, just depending on how much content there is and what there is to share. I'm definitely not going to be just emailing for the sake of emailing. It's just going to be keeping people in the loop, keeping people updated on when the new episodes will be coming out. And so something that I'm really looking for from you, the listeners, is what you would like out of season 2. What things are you struggling with in your home practice, in your teaching, in your progression as a yoga practitioner and a teacher? If there's anyone that you want to hear on the podcast or a certain topic, I'd really love it if you could reach out to me and just let me know. I have lots of ideas for really cool guests, and I'm getting really excited to start recording for season 2 and to be talking to some really exciting people. But I'd also really love to hear from any of you out there who are like, yes, this person is a perfect fit for MB Ohm. I would love to hear their story. I'd love to hear their lessons. One of the great things about podcasting is just getting to talk to really, really cool people and then share it with so many other people listening. So if you have somebody in mind, or you have a story you want to tell, or a blog post that you feel really inspired to write that you want to share, definitely reach out to me at info@mbohmyoga.com and just let me know. And so once again, that's info@mbohmyoga.com. The focus for season 1 was really on different guests who could provide different things for new yoga teachers. So the reason why I started MB Ohm was because when I came into the yoga world, I was like, I feel like there's no business side of this, yet there is, if that makes sense. So people weren't really practicing the business side of it, yet it's like completely a business. It's an industry. Owning a yoga studio is a business. And I remember being in yoga teacher training and talking to so many people who were like, yeah, I guess I'm going to open a yoga studio. And it's this topic that I've covered time and time again on the podcast with various different guests, talking about how if you really want to open a yoga studio, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into. And so with all of the guests on season 1, it's really been about sharing stories, talking about what they did. They're all people who just have really inspirational journeys. And the theme for season 2 is going to be relatively similar, just trying to get more people who are outside of the box. So people who are doing things that are different, who can give you opportunities to learn. Because I think that there's so much more that we can do than simply take on 20 to 25 classes per week or open a yoga studio. I think that there's so much in the realm of the business world that we're not taught in our teacher trainings, that we don't know about unless we talk to people who have already done it. And I think that that's life in general, is learning from other people's mistakes. And the big thing that I want to do with this podcast is really capitalize on that, talking to people who have made mistakes, who have learned from them, who've experienced something that was unpleasant or uncomfortable, and what they learned from it and what you can learn from it. And so if you have anything that pops to mind when I say that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. And if you have any questions or comments or feedback, this is the time to submit it. This is the time for me to put it all together, to compile it, to answer your questions, to take your feedback and make MB Ohm even better. The big picture for MB Ohm is eventually creating courses so that people don't have to think about, well, I want to run a yoga business. Maybe I need an MBA. Well, no, you don't. We've got a program that's way, way, way more affordable that's giving you everything you need. And so breaks like this are really key for me to sort of regroup and to see where this is going. And this is a huge part of what you guys come into. You, the listeners, are the people who I'm catering to. So if you're like, oh my gosh, I have a great idea, or this is where I see it going, definitely let me know. I would be happy to hear from you. And so what you can expect from me is regular updates via email. If you're not really wanting to get on the email train, that's totally fine. Whatever app you use to download podcasts on, whether it be iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or something else, go and subscribe to the podcast, because that'll be the best way for you to find out when new episodes come out. Because once you're subscribed and I release the first episode of season 2, you'll automatically get that downloaded. So if you aren't signed up for the email list, or you're not on Facebook, or you're not on social media, then that's definitely going to be the best way for you to see what's going to be next. And on the topic of social media, I was kind of resistant with both my podcasts to fully separate my personal Instagram and Twitter page, and I recently separated for my travel podcast, The World Wonders. And something that I'm going to do in this time when I'm taking from a break of weekly podcast episodes is creating a full-on Instagram account for MB Ohm, a Twitter account for MB Ohm. So if you have questions, comments, or you want to keep up to date with the episodes and you're not subscribed or not in the newsletter, you'll have another place to do that. Something for the future is also creating a Facebook group where you guys can reach out to one another and learn from one another. So those are all things that are on the horizon, and I'll keep you up to date with them, and I'll let you know when they're out and when they're available for you. And keep checking with the website. There's going to be regular blog posts going up on various different topics about yoga stories. There's already some cool things, some cool guest posts that I'm super excited about. And mostly, I want to say thank you so much for an amazing 30 episodes. Thank you to my guests. Thank you to my listeners. Thank you to everyone who sent me an email with questions or comments or feedback. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed to the email. It's cool to know that when you have an idea or something you're struggling with and you put it out to other people, that other people are like, yes, I needed this as well. And MB Ohm has really been that for me. And so I'm super excited for season 2. Please stay tuned. Please don't stop listening. Please don't unsubscribe. If there's any episodes you haven't listened to, queue them up for the next couple weeks. And I promise you that, 4 to 6 to 8 weeks it's not very long. So time's going to fly. And before you know it, we'll be starting season 2. I'm super, super, super excited for it, and I can't wait to reconnect with you all in the next episodes. And so if you want to reach out to me, once again, the website's www.mbohmyoga.com. The newsletter's up on there, all the blog posts, the show notes, and you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play. And just in case anybody missed that email address, if you want to reach out to me at all, it's info@mbohmyoga.com. I might take a couple days or even a week or so to get back to you, especially if you have a detailed email, but I will always respond and it'll always come from me. So once again, thank you so much for listening. I can't wait to see you all in season 2. Namaste.